Hello and welcome to the channel. Today me and Benji here. Hey Benji, say hi. We're going for a hike at Little Pine State Park. It's a trail I've done before and had on here, but it's been a while since I've been here and or made a video. So this is one of our favorite hikes out here so far. There's a lot of good ones, but there's a nice swimming area on this that I don't think I've gotten on video before. So I'm going to try and get that on video. They had recently cut there the last time I was here. It's probably grown up a little bit, but it was very nice that they had cut that. We're starting off basically at the entrance. The road's right up there. You drop down in, and there's the little booth right there where you would pay to, I guess, camp and stuff, where all the pamphlets are, and where you can flush out your septic tank and stuff like that on your trailer. Not sure how busy it is over there today. It's been slowly dying off. It's the 30th of August, so a lot of kids have gone back to school, so on and so forth, so I don't expect there to be a lot of campers there today, but there's probably still a few trailers over there, a few people out here camping. It's about 72 degrees, I think is what the thermometer on the truck said. The 75 when I left home, so it's a little bit cooler here and the humidity's down, so should be a beautiful day. This is technically where the Lake Shore Trail starts. They do have little maps right here you can get. There's one up on the board there. And I mean, not very far into this at all. Maybe a 1/10 of a mile or something like that. I mean, I just like parking there because me and him, we usually cut through the campground on the way back, honestly, because he pees and he likes the smells from all the dogs that have been here over the past couple weeks, and it makes him happy. So anyway, we'll be cutting through right over there. This is where the dam comes out. Be cutting up into the camping area there. There's some trailers there now. At least that's the plan, unless somebody's in the spot where I want to cut up, then I might have to go the long way and go back around or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. Not much of a fisherman anymore, but this area right here is where I see a lot of people fishing. This is where the dam lets out into the creek. This is Little Pine Creek, or what, you know what I mean. Pretty much one of the ones you cross in Waterville when you're on the Pine Creek Rail Trail. It runs along basically Big Pine Creek. This is where the dam lets out, and the camera probably doesn't do it justice, but this is pretty big. It's a big old dam. Over there, that's where the old one is. I never got to see that one function or whatnot, but it seems like it was just as big, and so I'm assuming it just came down and then the creek flowed through that way instead of out this hole right here. I believe they probably changed it to help with flooding down in Waterville. I could be wrong, but I think it's out towards Cinnamahoning. It's almost like they did kind of the same thing, or where they just had changed up to the style of dam where it's just this big dam with the pipes coming out, or with a pipe coming out, where they can control the flow of the water coming through the pipe. Then back in here when we hike the fields, they can allow those to get flooded because you can't really hurt those. That's the pipe that lets the water come in. And from best I can tell, this is a pretty good fishing area, a pretty popular fishing area, because I've seen a lot of people fishing this. So if you're ever hearing you want to do some fishing, this is probably the spot to do it. But trail heads up along here. You get up on top of the dam, and it pretty much runs you back the main lake up there for a ways. And I'll show you all that when we get there. Just got kind of done climbing up the dam. Trail's kind of hard to see because they just cut this and will brush hogged it. So it's nicer than what it was last time because they did brush hog it. You're not walking through real tall weeds, but it basically comes up here. And here's the sign for the Lakeshore Trail right there. So run you back here into the woods. Let's cross the dam. We'll check all that out on the way back through. Water doesn't look high or anything this time around. We'll find out though when we get down to the swimming spot. Last time I had him swimming here, there's a pretty decent current. And I had to watch how I threw the stick because I don't like him swimming in that current or anything. But we'll get back there and be able to tell how swift it's moving when we get back there. But it doesn't look like it should be too bad today. At least I hope not. We've gotten a little ways back in. Pretty much once you get into the woods, you go up a decent little hill. Then you start down. There's the downhill right there. We're currently probably not going to be able to see it. I'll try zooming in. Yeah, you can't see it, but that's the lake down there. And directly across from where we're at is the beach area, the swimming area, and a little boat launch and stuff. For the most part, it's a relatively clean trail. This is one of the muddier spots we're coming up on right here. They have a little rock, bridgey area, we'll call it, where you can cross and not get your shoes trashed or whatever, because I don't really wear waterproof shoes very often except for in the winter time. There's a few other spots where you'll run across mud. More in the spring though, the winter time. Summer it's not too bad. It seems like a lot of stuff tends to dry up here. But there's definitely a few spots that are always there. Nothing spectacular though. Little cave area up there. And yeah, so we're a little ways into the walk. Nothing spectacular. I am tracking it, but I forgot to look and see exactly how far we made it so far. Maybe 3/4 of a mile to a mile, I would guess. Nothing crazy though. One thing I will say is it's a relatively rocky trail up here until you get down to the field. Other than that, the last time I was here, I saw a rattlesnake, and it was a pretty aggressive one. But it was actually down in the campground. I didn't see it up on the trail. So if you're ever here, you have to be careful, especially if you have a dog with you or kids. In all the time I've been here, I've only seen a handful of rattlesnakes. Most of what I see is gardener snakes, rat snakes, black snakes, like that kind of stuff. Truthfully. Ran into a guy a couple weeks ago that said, to watch for copperheads too. That they can be pretty aggressive. But yeah, for being the PA Wilds, I sure really haven't seen a whole lot. I mean, there was a bear crossed over in the baseball field right behind my house, maybe a month or two ago. And then we saw one running up the road, actually. We went to the Dark Sky Park. I can't think of what it's called offhand right now. But I was pretty close to the house too, just running up the road. Sorry about this, ran into a cobweb. But anyway, I heard some coyotes, seen a lot of coyote scat, but haven't actually seen one yet. There's a couple snapping turtles, nothing spectacular, but it still is the PA Wilds. So the point of what I'm getting at is here is, if you're ever here walking your dog or whatever, you have to pay attention. I'm always watching the ground, trying to watch and see ahead of the dog so he doesn't step on a snake or something like that. He doesn't really mess with them very often. Actually, he's never messed with them at all. He's never been bit by a snake, and he's almost 10. So I'm pretty confident I can keep him safe just by, keeping a good eye on the ground. But he's also, again, the type of dog that doesn't go after that kind of stuff. Benji, over here. Over. Thank you. Good boy. if you have a dog that's very prey driven, my mom has a hound mix, you have to be careful, because he was bit by a snake up in my aunt's. Nothing spectacular, but he did get bit. And you know, if you have a dog that's like that, you have to really keep good tabs on them to make sure they don't get hurt up here. And they do call it the PA Wilds for a reason. In my experience, haven't really seen a whole lot, but just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean the danger's not there. So just always be careful. That's a little better shot of the lake down there. Little park area over there. It's got some pavilions, I think some bathrooms over there. I've only actually been over there once. It was when we first moved here. I had done this hike. It was for the first time with him. I found it online. And me and Benji did it. And about a week later, we got a bunch of rain. It was about probably the first month we were here. I mean, we got a lot of rain the one night. And I came up here to show my girlfriend the park and stuff. And this was all flooded. You couldn't even see the boat ramp. It was all, you know, flooded real high and everything else. So that was about from definitely the first month we were here. So I probably did this the second week we were here, something like that. And she hadn't done the hike yet, but I guarantee the water was backed up into the field for as high as what the actual lake was. There's no doubt in my mind. So yeah, anyway, that's the only time I've ever been over there, and it was flooded pretty good. I didn't really get out and see that much. It had rained and been raining off and on that day. We just did a small walk with him down on the rail trail when we had a break in the rain. And I came up here to show her the park and stuff. But it's a really nice area over there if you're here camping or whatever, to take your kids, or just, you know, get in the water and go swimming, or to do some fishing if you have kayaks or whatever. And so anyway, I'm going to keep on hiking. And when we get up by the Bald Eagles, I think it's probably about the next time I'll pull the camera out and see if I can get some video of them. At least get some video of the nest, for sure. I don't know how clear it's coming up, but that ball in the center of the screen is an eagle's nest. I don't currently see anything in it. But to be able to get it on the camera, I had to zoom in the whole way. So I'm at 10 times zoom on an older smartphone. But there's an eagle's nest along the trail. It's out in this little swamp area. It's basically right behind the lake there. I'm not even sure if it's still a current nest or not. There's signs up. I don't currently see any there's none right here. Most of them are old and beat up. But that tells you that that's an eagle's nest, and that you're supposed to stay 300 and some odd feet away from it, or 600 feet. I can't remember what it is, but you're supposed to stay so far away from it. You're not even allowed to try and get out there. Not that I'm going to go wade through a swamp to mess with an eagle's nest by any means. But you're not supposed to mess with them. But stay so far away from them. Actually, here's a sign. It says no hunting. Right here. Eagle's nest. Eagle's nest site, keep out. Federal law prohibits approaching within 660 feet of an active bald eagle's nest. So it's 660 feet. I assume that it's still an active nest, but in all the times here, I've actually never seen an eagle in the nest. I've seen bald eagles here as I was hiking and stuff, but I've never seen one in the nest. So it may not be a current nest at this point, but I'm not sure of that. We only do this maybe once every 2 weeks to a month, depending on circumstances and situation. I mean, I've done it about every 2 weeks, give or take, unless I'm doing DoorDash. When I'm down in State College a lot, I don't do this anywhere near as much, because I'm down there a lot. But I mean, there's a lot of hiking down there too. It's not as remote as the stuff up here by any means, but he likes all the smells and all the dogs and stuff at all the parks when we're down there. But anyway, So if you're ever out here, you can check out the Eagle's Nest. It looks like it's still usable, but I have yet to see a bird in it. So if anybody has been out here recently, let me know in the comments below. But just not sure. Anyway, this is where you drop down along the water. Then you head back up onto the trail some more. And as I've shown before, you cut up into the woods for about 10-15 minutes on this little goat path before you drop out into the field. So I'll pick it up there because I'm getting a little winded walking up this hill. Haven't been doing a lot of hill hiking lately. Been sticking to that nice flat bike trail down there, so I'm getting out of shape. All right, this is where, for lack of a better way of putting it, the goat path comes out of the woods. Right there, now into the field here. Looks like it's been a little while since they cut it, but it's still not too bad yet. It's a lot of park for them guys to take care of, so I don't think they have the time to get back here as often as what they'd like. They keep this cut down pretty good, you know, for the most part. I just looked at my Outdoor Active app. We're exactly 2 miles in at this point where we're cutting out into the field. I think it's about a 4.5 mile total hike, give or take, depending on how much of the campground I do and so on and so forth. I think I can usually drag it out to about 5 for him, depending on exactly what I do when we get back in there. Do I do the whole campground? Do I just do a small section? So on and so forth. There's a gravel road you can hike up and stuff there as well. Nothing spectacular, but sometimes, like I said, especially if I know there's rain coming or the next day is going to be crappy, I push it a little more than on a day where I know it's going to be beautiful for the next 3. Don't have to push it as hard. But anyway, this is the start of the field part. Couple intersections down here, nothing crazy. Real easy to do. I think he's looking forward to swimming because he likes to play. He definitely likes to play. Oh, Benji. Benji, want to play? Them ears go up. Benji wants to play. He'll enjoy chasing a stick in the water for a little bit. Hopefully I can find one. I actually carry a toy with me. It's a rubber stick from Roughwear, but it wasn't cheap, and if I'm not getting in the water, I won't throw it, because sometimes if he doesn't see where it goes or something along those lines, it might get lost. And again, I'm not exactly prepared to go in the water. I do have a pair of board shorts and a towel in my pack, just because I always have them in there, at least this pack. It's just, I guess, how I packed it, just in case, I guess. But the main reason I carry this pack is because you're so remote out here, and you don't have cell phone service here. Like, maybe some other carrier does, but I have Verizon, and I don't get nothing except for up on top of the mountain. So, that being said, if something were to happen or whatever, I like having my stove, my little cook kit, some snacks. Got, I think, 2 backpacking meals, you know what I mean? Just, you know, like survival supplies, my water filter, stuff that I wouldn't carry back home when I was hiking at Moraine. Just due to the fact, because if something happened, yeah, you just call somebody real quick. They're there in a half hour, 45 minutes. Not a big deal. Here, there is an emergency phone down there. So you're going to get a hold of 911. I mean, technically speaking, I can call AAA, but in my experience out here, AAA is absolutely useless and terrible. I have had to use it actually only one time down here, and it wasn't at this park. It was along the rail trail. But it took me like 3 days to get somebody to pick it up, because AAA is not really supposed to schedule it. But you don't have cell phone service, so you're just like, okay, well, then I need it now. Well, we can't get anybody now. You know what I mean? So they ended up scheduling for me, so on and so forth. And the one guy was able to get there the one afternoon, and we worked. I talked to him over the phone, and he had a few things going on in the morning, so we were able to set it up. But if you're ever here, always make sure somebody knows where you're going. And you do have the emergency phone at the park. And there's a few here and there. There's an emergency phone down at Rattlesnake Rock. I believe the next one down, I can't think of the name of it on the rail trail. There's an emergency phone at that parking area. The closer to Jersey Shore you get, you have service. And in Waterville by the fire department, I can get it like a bar or two so I can send a text or whatever. Ramsey right by the bridge. You can get it here and there. But there's definitely places out here where you don't have any cell service. So you need to let people know where you're at all times. And make sure you have what you need with you. So I've opted to carry the larger pack this summer, just in case I need anything. It's got, there's not just my rain gear, but I still have my puffy coat in there. It's my light one, but you never know when you're going to be stuck out here. And definitely have some food, a water filter. My towel's big enough, I could probably use it as a blanket. The board shorts, I guess the towel and the board shorts just kind of take up space, because whenever I initially packed this, it was to go swimming, and I just never changed and got in the water. Because when you hike in 2 or 3 miles, I guess I just never bothered to want to change out here just to get in. I've taken my shoes off and waded in, but that's about it. Nothing crazy. So anyway, have fun to stick over there, and we'll play in the water for about a half hour or so, and he'll enjoy it. He hasn't really been swimming much since he had his bath a little over a month ago. I think I've had him swimming once, so he's getting a little on the dusty side again. And swimming, is the easy way to give him a bath, for lack of a better way of putting it. It cleans him up. He enjoys it and cools him off. And he's usually clean for a couple weeks. He doesn't usually get that grime of other dogs because he's on a raw diet, I think. Once we switched his diet, that kind of went away. For the most part, he hadn't had a bath up until when we gave him one about a month ago, for almost 2 years. And from swimming and stuff, he has allergies. His hindquarters started to smell like yeast. Started to get a yeasty smell to him from having him swimming a little bit too much in just a small span of days, and not going home and making sure I dried him properly with a hair dryer. He's got real thick fur, and if you don't dry him really well, you can get that. Once in a while, it's not such a big deal, but I kind of got lax on it. He just got a yeasty smell to him, and I have a bunch of different shampoos that are for his allergies, so I made sure to scrub him up real good, and haven't had an issue since. Took care of it. So anyway, guess we'll pick up when we get over here swimming. I think we're coming up on the intersection now. Yep, that's where you're going to cut. This is the 3-way. This is basically where you can do the long loop or the short loop. I usually only do the short loop. The long loop, I've actually never tracked, so I'm not sure how much longer it is. But I think it adds about anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. You're going to cut left to do the short one. You cut right to do the long one. And that'll take you out, or take you down further, and you'll go down by the gun range, and there's an archery range and stuff like that here too. And like I said, me and him usually just opt for the lazy way and do the short one, but he'll get to swim, and we do the stuff back there, at the campground and stuff. So anywho, we'll pick up next time once we get over there swimming. I want to try a selfie stick that I got, on Amazon. We got it for Prime Days. And I haven't actually got to really use it much. I've messed with it at home, but I've never actually tried it out in the real world with my phone. So we're going to try and set that up, see if I can get a little tripod and deal going with that. And another thing I picked up that I've been meaning to do a review on is I'm going to switch around real quick. Got this netted bug hat. And long story short, the bugs are real bad up here. And I had to do something because bugs were terrible. I had all but quit smoking for the most part, and smoke seemed to be the only thing that kept the bugs away. So on Prime Days, I ordered this hat with a bug net, well, kind of attached. My girlfriend got one too. Hers is actually attached. This one has an elastic that goes over the top, but again, I'm gonna have to do a review on it. I actually have a Sea to Summit bug net, but I didn't have any hats to use it with. So I opted for the cheapest way, but I knew that was just to get something cheap from Amazon, try it out, see if I liked it or how it worked out. And so far it's worked out really well. For being a cheapo Amazon hat and bug net, it's worked really well. I'm extremely pleased with it. I will probably end up buying one of the nicer hats that I saw that I liked at some point in the future. And you just use my Sea to Summit bug net too. But I'll tell you what, I think I paid 15 bucks for this thing, or less. And it was a really good 15 bucks spent. So I hope you're enjoying the video so far. And it's almost time to go do some swimming. Finally made it to Benji's swimming hole. I actually passed it up. This is the trail. The last time I was here, it was very noticeable. The time before that, it was like almost just done. But I'll tell you what, I walked right past it this time. I had to come back to it. And yeah, we found it like right over where that tree's down, right there. Is how we initially found this spot. You could cut through the weeds over there. Now that the tree's down, I don't think so much. And the weeds grew up a lot over the summer, but that's how we initially found this spot. We were able to cut over the water right here. And it's a nice little hole. At one point there was a nice palomino in here, decent sized palomino trout. You could see it, it was white, stuck out like a sore thumb in this water. This is definitely a deeper hole along this. And yeah, I'm gonna put up my tripod and see if I can get some video of him swimming. And we'll go from there. But yeah, this is the little swimming hole that I found for him along the little pond back in this trail part. Benji, bring it here. Bring it here, Bubba. Drop it. Go get it. Go get it. That's the only problem with using real sticks, is you destroy them. This is the one you shoot on before. Go get it. Huh. It's funny to watch him swim because he's actually a chicken when it comes to swimming. He just likes playing. He doesn't have a prey drive, he has a play drive. Come on. Bring it here. Come on. Bring me the stick. Come here. Bring it here. Come here. Drop it. And there's definitely still a current here too, but it's not as bad as what it was the other day when we were here. It's not as strong and pronounced. Still not trying to throw it to the other side, but I'm not as worried today. The last time we were here, he'd have had a hard time swimming back against it. And I actually think at some point this flooded. It did something, because that down tree, the base of it used to be out in the middle of the creek further, and I was worried he was going to get swept up underneath that tree. And you all right? It definitely must have got higher because it moved that tree. And now I'll try and zoom in. See see that dirt spot right there? It moved the tree. That tree was more straight out in the middle of the creek. So now it's one less thing to worry about. At least at this spot, now that that's moved. I mean, you still have to worry about it if he would end up over there. But I was worried he was going to get swept under that tree the way it was before. But I don't think it's as big of an issue. Come here, Bubba. He likes to shake off every time he gets out, too. Bring it here. Bring me the stick. Come on. Go get it. We used to start further up here to the right. It's a shallower, less of a steep drop off. It's the biggest thing he doesn't like is where when you walk right straight into the water, it's just a drop off. And that's what it is here. I mean, you don't get in more than a 6, 8 inches, maybe a foot, and he's swimming. Like right about there is where he starts to touch. And he likes the gradual stuff. He likes to walk out on his back legs as far as what he can. So far this tripod is not working too bad, being on a real rocky surface. Go get it. Go get it. It's just going to float away if you don't go get it. See, he's being a chicken now. That's all right. Everybody got to see Benji swim a little bit. I got to try out my new tripod / selfie stick a little bit. And I think I'm going to go find him another stick, play with him for a little bit. Then we're going to get back on trail. And we'll probably pick up the video maybe once we get back out by the dam or something like that. I guess maybe once we head up in the woods I can show you where we head up into the woods, but that's about it. Pretty much once you finish out the loop back here, it's just you head back the trail, the initial trail, and up to the dam. And I already did a video on the campground. It's a really nice campground here. So yeah, we'll pick back up once we hit the trail. I'm gonna let him play a little bit and enjoy himself in the water. All right, we just finished swimming. Benji's still all wet. About to get out of the field here. Start up the first little hill, back up into the woods. Not really much left to show you on this part. Again, I've already done a video of this before. I think maybe even twice. This is one of our favorite parks though. I hadn't done a video in a while. Been busy. But this is where you're going to cut back up in. And right up the top of this hill is the start of the little goat path trail. Been turning around and make this back part a loop. Haven't seen anything but a couple turkeys so far on this walk. Like I said, it's odd for being the PA Wilds. I expected to see a lot more stuff, and seriously, the first bear I saw was like right behind my house. My backyard backs up to the baseball fields, and walking right through the baseball fields. But right there, where the goat path starts up in, marked well with the yellow markings. It's a little muddy now though, nothing crazy. But yeah, I guess we'll pick back up at the dam and probably cut across the top of that some ways. Check out the view. It's always breezy up there. It feels good to just stay in the breeze after hiking, cool off a little bit. Then we'll head down, hit a little bit of the campground, and head home for do some dinner. So I'll pick you back up, I think, probably up around the dam area. Just figured I'd give you a view of the lake from this end. It's probably about the best view we're going to get. That's the dam up there. And got the beach on the right. I zoomed in if you can see it or not, but right behind that tree is basically the boat launch. Looks like there's somebody over there. It looks like a truck putting in. Little gray spot be right in the center right now. But that's the lake from the back end. I think this spot's been flooded. Then back in there right before you cut up and out of the field has definitely been flooded before since we've lived here. It is what it is. So the dam was built for. Yeah, there's the truck right there pulling out. That's the boat ramp. But I mean, I'm pretty sure this dam was built this way to keep Waterville from flooding. So I mean, more power to them. You definitely want to not have houses destroyed and, you know, people lose everything when it floods. So I'm glad they did it. I'd rather definitely see this area flood than that. But that is something you have to watch for if you're ever doing this or you want to do this and you plan on coming here. Is if the water is going to be real high, you may not be able to get past this point right here. Or even if you can get past here, you may not be able to do that back loop because part of it would be flooded. Just as an FYI. But we're going to go. We got to cut up this hill, and it's pretty much uphill till it's downhill, for lack of a better way of putting it. But we're going to head up, and I think we'll pick up back by the dam again. And then probably end the video from there. And I'm going to head home and get some dinner. So I'll pick up there. Here we are, back up on top of the dam. Finally made it out. Tell you what, the breeze feels good. It's not even hot out. The breeze still feels good. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, we usually go down and take a quick walk through the campground. because he likes to hit the smells, and there's dogs from all over the place, I assume, that come here. You're gonna see a lot of PA plates, seen a couple Ohio plates, New York plates. And I guess people not from all over, but a lot of different dogs frequent this park. Let's just say that. And he gets to go sniff them and pee on stuff and trump them. So that's pretty much what it's all about as a dog, I guess. But absolutely beautiful day. Great day for a hike out here. Probably a little chilly to have him swimming, but he's got long hair, and I mean, he shivered a little bit. The water, I think the deeper parts were kind of chilly for him. But once we got moving again, he was fine. And it's about borderline low 70s is where I want to have him swimming. Most days I probably wouldn't have even let him swim, but I told him he could before we got here. Thought it was going to be a little bit on the warmer side, and it wasn't. So it is what it is. Had a good time. He had a good time. That's all that matters. Look at that view. Anyhow, I'm going to finish out the walk, and we'll go from there. Well, we made it back down to the campground. A few people down here got set up. Maybe looking for an early holiday weekend. I don't know. That's what I have to assume, though. Just not very busy at all. There's somebody fishing back there. I think of what, 1, 2, 3, 4 campers in a tent so far. There's probably a few more down once I get down along the bottom too. But yeah, good hike all in all. We're just about done. Benji's just doing his sniffing. Man, it's about 5:24 now in the afternoon. I think we're both getting a little on the hungry side, and it's really hard to film once I put him on a leash. He's a great off-leash dog, terrible on-leash dog. He's so good off-leash that whenever you put him on leash, he just doesn't get that he can't just go whichever way. And if there's a smell, he's going to sniff it. So anyway, I think I'm gonna end it here. I hope everybody enjoys the video today. Still new at this, so hopefully someday I'll get better. And maybe be able to make a few bucks doing this someday, who knows. But for now, I hope you enjoy the video, and get out and check out some of these places, because it's really a lot of fun to be out here in the middle of nowhere. If you like the video, obviously like and subscribe and all that fun stuff too. So catch you on the next one.